rightly said, a winner is a dreamer who never gives up. A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We warmly welcome you all to the most awaited ceremony in the school calendar, the Scholar Badge ceremony for the academic session 2019-2020.
It is rightly said, a winner is a dreamer who has faced a lot of obstacles along the path of life. But despite having to face so many challenges, they are the ones who didn't give up. They are the ones who do not mind losing time and again. They are the ones who have faced hardships 1,000 times, but they didn't yield under any circumstance.
Catherine Pulsifer said, and I quote, "Each day is a new beginning, the chance to do with it what should be done and not to be seen as simply another day to put in time." A lamp doesn't speak, it introduces itself through its light. Achievers never introduce themselves, but their achievements introduce them. We now commence today's ceremony by lighting the lamp of knowledge.
श्रीगणेशाय नमः। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः, भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः, स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवासस्तनूभिः, व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। ॐ स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः, स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः, स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः, स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं।
Face today, let's hold on tight. Let's make the best of everything. The world is changing every day. Brothers and sisters everywhere, make a change we want to see in this world. There will come a time when we will look back and smile. It may be long and hard now. We shall overcome. With our heads held high, we shall stand
Great leaders don't set out to be a leader, they set out to make a difference. It's never about the role, it's always about the goal. On behalf of Delhi Public School Arkepuram, we extend a warm and hearty welcome to the chief guest for the day, Dr. Kiran Dattar, member of DPS Society and Managing Committee, DPS Arkepuram. Dr. Kiran Dattar has a doctorate degree in history from the Jawaharlal Nehru University. Dr. Kiran Dattar has held various posts such as the Dean of Colleges, officiating Vice Chancellor, and the advisor at the University of Delhi. Dr. Kiran Dattar has to her credit over 45 years of experience in the field of education. Dr. Kiran Dattar has been the recipient of many awards like Mahila Shiromani Award, Himutkarsh National Integration Award, to name a few. Thank you, ma'am, for gracing us with your esteemed presence.
Ralph W. Sockman said, "The larger the island of knowledge, the longer the shoreline of wonder." We extend a very warm welcome to the guest of honor, Mr. Prabjeet Singh, President, Uber India and South Asia, who is responsible for operations and products in India, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. Mr. Prabjeet is an engineering graduate from IIT Kharagpur and holds a business degree from IIM Ahmedabad. Over the last 5 years, Mr. Prabjeet has helped build Uber from the ground up and successfully deployed the magic of technology in one of the fastest growing and most strategic markets for the company. Thank you, sir. We are honored to have you amongst us.
Nelson Mandela said, and I quote, "Remember to celebrate milestones as you prepare for the road ahead." Let's view a short film on the achievements at Delhi Public School, R.K. Puram.
I quote, "A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way." Today, we have amongst us one such leader who has always motivated us with the idea that magic happens when we do not give up. Difficult roads lead to beautiful destinations. Our principal, Miss Padma Srinivasan, will now share her thoughts and invite our guests.
Our chief guest, Dr. Kiran Dattar, member DPS Society and DPS RK Puram Managing Committee, and the guest of honor, Mr. Prabjit Singh, colleagues, faculty, parents, students, and of course, the award winners. Good evening to one and all. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to DPS RK Puram's much awaited Class 8 Scholar Badge Ceremony 2020, which is being held on the online platform. It is a great honor to have you as our chief guest. Ma'am, thank you for gracing this occasion with your esteemed presence. You're truly an inspiration to all of us. Mr. Prabjit Singh, President, Uber India and South Asia, I thank you most sincerely for finding time in your very busy schedule to be with us today online. Mr. Prabjit Singh is an alumnus of our school, and I'm sure his presence will be a motivation to all our students. Thank you for joining us today. It is only right that I begin my remarks by congratulating our award winners. This ceremony is a celebration of the achievements of our students, and I'm elated and honored to be able to recognize the extraordinary achievements of our students. This award ceremony recognizes the achievements in the field of academics, sports, music, drama, and other co-curricular activities, which of course include sports. And the awards reflect the diverse and the holistic education that is provided at DPS RK Puram. The skills that the children learn at DPS RK Puram and the experiences that they garner outside the classrooms on the games field, music, dance, etc., all contribute tremendously to what is going on in the classroom. In our school, the children are provided a plethora of opportunities, and the children, as a result, become very accomplished, and when they leave school, they are outstanding ambassadors of the school. This celebration of achievement and success is also a recognition of the targets set by the school and by the children themselves and the goals that they have achieved. I'm very, very proud, students, of your achievements. And I'm also very proud that our children, in the long run, have emerged as self-assured young people when they leave this institution and move to the larger world. The hard work of the students have gotten them these results. And it is primarily because of the dedication and the hard work that is put in by the teaching staff. In the recent months, the teachers have really remolded themselves, and my sincere thanks to them. And the parents have been really supportive, and they have always gone an extra mile, not only to support their own children, but also the school. Thanks a lot. Your support is valued and appreciated. The world, as we know, has changed in the blink of an eye. Schools closed overnight. Students were liberated from schools, and parents had to grapple with keeping children productive at home. In the stress of lockdown, hand washing, and tracking the global spread of the virus, no one has paid attention to the sudden stress on that often neglected group, namely the teachers. With the schools remaining closed for an extended period of time, online teaching has become a reality. The world order has been turned upside down. Like all other schools, our school buildings are closed for the students for studying purposes. However, the teachers and the staff are working harder than ever to run the establishment and provide all services online and offline. Like not only engaging with the students on the online academics, at the same time, they're working in a coordinated manner to ensure that hard copies of the resources reach the students. These include the EWS students of all classes. Preparation and distribution of assignment booklets have been done for all classes. We are looking into the requirements of new admissions, and in fact, all students who are a part of DPS RKP fraternity on a daily basis. The work is going on at school with double the effort, with the children joining us online to learn academic subjects, performing arts and physical exercises. The teachers, as you have experienced, who were earlier intimidated by technology, now have taken the bull by its horns. For many teachers, planning for an online setting meant some relearning. Online classrooms have brought up the issues of classroom management. If teachers thought they had enough trouble keeping their classrooms in order earlier, there is nothing compared to the woes of remote classrooms. For schools, training teachers to become adept at teaching online has been a Herculean task. Helping teachers transition to virtual classrooms and essentially a brand new way of doing things has now virtually become a reality. School readiness for online teaching has been a critical factor, and our school has skillfully maneuvered itself through this journey. The parents have always sent their children to school. Now the teachers are coming home. Both parents and teachers are finding and establishing a new equilibrium, a new normal. Teachers and school administrators need the support and partnership of parents to achieve this for the sake of children. Now, children, in our daily lives, we always hear of the winners. We always hear their achievements, but we rarely hear how they got those high positions in life. The great achievers have proved themselves by not quitting from their hope and ambitions. A little boy, the fifth child of his parents in a remote village in Ramanathapuram district of Tamil Nadu. He belonged to a family whose livelihood was fishing. He used to sell newspapers in a small village to earn his daily living. He was not smart at school. He was only interested in religion and rockets. He became a scientist. He built rockets. They crashed. He built a missile. It also crashed. Multiple times he failed, but he did not quit. Later, he became the person who played a leading role in the development of India's missile and nuclear weapons program. He was a project director of the SLV-3, India's first indigenously built and designed satellite launch vehicle. He planned the program that produced a number of successful missiles, which earned him the nickname Missile Man. He was our president from 2002 to 2007. Yes, you have guessed it right. It is our own APJ Abdul Kalam. So, this is a story of a dreamer who never gave up and emerged a winner, a leader, and an achiever, not only as an individual but also for the country. Dear students, in these difficult times, let's hold each other's hands, cooperate, collaborate, and work as a team to achieve the goals that we need to reach. Please reach out to your class teachers, subject teachers, and counselors for any help that you require. I earnestly appeal to all the parents to be around the children all the time, and especially when they give their exams. You're the invigilators at home. Without your cooperation, these exams cannot be conducted successfully. Children, we don't know when our life will actually return to normal. These are really tough times, and I'm sure they will not last long. Our major concern now is to ensure the well being of all children, especially wherever the school activities come in. And of course, children, take care of yourself, follow all the COVID norms, and I'm sure you will keep safe. Follow whatever your parents say. May we all have a wonderful school year moving on towards 2020-21.
Thank you, ma'am. Christopher Reeve said, and I quote, "So many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then they seem improbable, and then when we summon the will, they soon become inevitable." We now request our chief guest to kindly share her thoughts. This will be followed by the address of our guest of honor.
Good evening, Mrs. Srinivasan, Mr. Prabjit Singh, teachers of R.K. Puram, parents, awardees, and students, and all else in the audience. What a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm delighted. What a beautiful bouquet you gave me, and the flowers smell so sweet. But we live in strange times, don't we? And this is some of the reality that we now have to deal with. When I was thinking of what to talk to you about, there were two things that struck me. One was that here are you. You are the achievers of class 8, people who have excelled, who have shown the way, who have stood firm, and who, in many cases, are now actually walking into adulthood. And what is it that you can equip yourselves with? How is it that you see your own achievements? How is it that you view power? This is something that I have actually thought about very, very closely and worked in a sense of looking at the issue that power without responsibility is nothing. Power is power. When you give it a plus with responsibility, because that is where leadership comes in. And you are the future leaders. You are the young who are going to show us how to live our life in days to come. Our generation has looked at things from a very different point of view. Did it ever prepare us for something like this? I would say very inadequately. But there are some things that did prepare us. And actually, that is what I would like to share with you. Because if there is anything that we can do today, and I think Prabjit will join me in that, as an old student of the school and as somebody who has now achieved something that is so wonderful and so meaningful for so many of us in our lives, that when you achieve or when you have worked through the years, there are many lessons that we have also learned. And these are the lessons and the mantras that we would like to share with you. Listen to us at times if you think that it is relevant to you. And if we are talking nonsense, then maybe also have the courage to tell us. But some of the learnings that I would like to share with you are that what is it that you need in the days to come and in the years to come? And the first thing is emotional stability. I know a lot of people talk about intelligence. Of course, intelligence is a given. But that intelligence without the ability to lever it with stability and an emotional stability becomes something that doesn't really actually achieve you very much. So please work at skills which build that intelligence in you. And I know that your teachers, I know that people around you, your parents, they will equip you with these. They will give you pointers. Listen to them and listen to a path, walking a path with that kind of emotional stability. The other very important thing, and I think all our philosophies, our religion has taught us this, is that change is inevitable, change is constant. Why is it that we are scared of change? And I can assure you that we all are. Whatever age we are, that is one of the things that we are scared of. So learn not to be scared of change. Change is inevitable. Welcome it, embrace it, and that's where the real winners are going to come from. People who will actually look at it as a challenge and as an opportunity. You know, I always look at this from the simile of something that I love to watch, which is surfing. When you look at the beautiful surfers and the way they ride their waves, it's always amazed me that they face that wave with a great smile, with anticipation, and they learn to ride the crest. They don't go under. You see that beautiful scene of a surfer riding that wave, and it is the most fantastic sight. And I think it equips you with the ability to look at this kind of a change, which we are all facing and which we are all going to face. I think the other great skill that you're going to learn and which you're going to have to work with is the ability to work with one another. That is going to be one of the greatest skills that maybe we as a society, as your school, as your teachers can equip you with. That competition is there, but collaboration is far more important. And we need to collaborate. We need to learn from each other. We need to listen to each other. We need a society which is more empathetic. You have had the privilege of studying, and you continue to have the privilege of studying in a very great school. Look at its achievements over the years. It is an institution that the city really values, continues to value. It is a leader in its own field. Look at the kind of students that it has produced. Please value it. Institutions have to be cherished. You know, like a parent cherishes a child and looks after it, you all, as people who study in it, who leave it, must equally cherish it. And parents, that's a plea. We thank you for all the support that you give the schools. Please continue to do so. The principal talked about the challenges that the teachers have faced. I, as a former teacher, as a long teacher of the university, can actually recognize, and I appreciate it every day. These are not things that any one of the teachers were equipped with. Look at the manner in which they have faced those challenges. Please help them. Do not always be critical of ventures or of their experiments, but join them in building a better learning and growing environment. Thank you very much for having me here today. Please stay safe and healthy. Like all of you, I'm eagerly looking forward to hearing Prabjit talk about his journey, because I think that is one of the most important things you can do, to actually share your stories with the young and give them the hopes and the dreams that they can actually achieve. Thank you very much for having me here today.
Thank you. I think it's a tough one to follow when Mr. Tar has shared such wise words with years of experience. I had a good ringside view, just absorbing those, and I would argue many of the things which he said is equally are relevant for some of us who were in these shoes where these amazing students are today, 25 years back. Mr. Nivasan, Mr. Tar, the faculty from DPS RK Puram, students and teachers, thank you for having me and giving me a privilege. Truly, it's an honor to be here, an honor for two reasons. Number one, to be back at an institution which has had such a big influence in shaping me as a professional, shaping me as an individual in my growing years, knocking me down from time to time, raising me up, telling me where are the things I can do better, showing me humility, and in just helping me become in some form where I am today. And second, to be actually getting a chance to engage with this phenomenal group of future leaders who are on this call, who are going through the very, very critical recognition of today. Huge congratulations to all of you. Many of you are going to be future leaders of the country, in fact, future leaders of the world. I think if you heard from Mr. Nivasan and Ms. Datta that we are living in unprecedented times. I think coming from somebody who's leading a business which has been impacted probably one of the most dramatically, where for business which takes pride in encouraging people to move forward, encouraging people to move out. Starting March, we were actually telling people across the world to stop moving and move only if it is going to be super essential. I think I've had the chance to see the journey on how economies, our society, broadly humanity has been dealing with this incredibly last few tough months. I think before I come and share a little bit of reflection from my professional journey, there are 2 or 3 quick thoughts I would share with you on how you should look at the current ongoing pandemic. These are crazy times, but also one thing I've learned is crazy times make for great stories. You are all, particularly the students, are going to be what I call the COVID generation, and nobody's going to take that away from you. And imagine, few years down the line, each one of you will be having a dialogue to say, what were you doing when the worst pandemic in the last 100 years hit? How did you respond? How did you adapt to that? How did you use the opportunity to change yourself as an individual, particularly the 13, 14-year-olds who are on this call and getting recognized? This is also one of the most unprecedented opportunity in the last 100 years, because what we are foreseeing right now is some pretty big dramatic changes. Business models are changing. Businesses have gone through cycles of complete crash, recovering very fast. There are businesses and business models which have suddenly got tailwinds supporting them. We're also seeing society changing. Suddenly, the dialogue around how society, businesses interact with each other and how the impact on environment comes from is becoming quite center stage. And guess what? Many of you have a ringside view of that. And to all the students on this call, I would urge you to really look at this as a great learning opportunity. What you are going to see, probably for folks like us who have gone through a little bit more regular experience over the last couple of decades, you are going to see over a last 12 to 18-month window, something which normally would have taken 10 to 15 years to happen. And that's a luxury. That's a privilege for you to be able to make the most of. So I would actually encourage you to really look at these crazy times as hugely with optimism, with an opportunity to learn, and at the end of the day, lead by having hope. Things are going to get back to normal, or there may be a new normal. But what you would have learned through the last 9 to 12 months is going to stay with you for the rest of your careers. One of the things which I was debating in my mind was what would be most helpful for me to share with a few of you over a couple of minutes. And I told myself, I wish, what are the few things which I knew when I was 13 or 14 years old and 25 years back? And if somebody could share that with me in a nutshell. So I'm going to share with you 5 distilled learnings from my vantage point on how to think of your lives, careers, and choices ahead of you. The first, which truly has stood with me, is around aiming high and setting your own standards. You guys are entering an inflection point where many of you will be thinking of what you want to do in your lives. What is the next big step you want to do in your education? What are the passions you want to pursue? One thing which is changing increasingly is that the external world is going to not be a benchmark anymore. The only benchmark which you can set is what you set for yourself. No longer what would be considered as success 10 years back will be the success when you are in the window, when you are 17, 18, 19 years old and thinking of the next steps in your career. So you will have to set your own standards. You will have to define what is the right balance between academic success, non-academic success, success of becoming a more grounded individual, and you will have to raise the bar yourself. There will be times where you will have to, obviously, your parents, your mentors, your teachers will tell you what success is. Here is a score, here is a gold medal in sports, here is a chance to win an inter-school competition in debate. But beyond that, how does this generation think of what is their version of success is a bar you will have to set for yourself. A prime example of that for me was when I was in the chance of building this business out over the last 5 years in a tough market like India. There were many chances for us to say, look, why don't we take this hugely successful global model and implement it in India as is? And more often than not, 80% of that should work. But we told ourselves, look, if you're trying to make something happen for a market which is as complex and as challenging like India, where smartphone penetration is just beginning to scale, where on one side we have riders who are most tech savvy and we may have drivers who are actually using a smartphone for the first time, how do we customize the product for India? And we said, we are going to raise the bar for the industry, not because somebody else is telling us, but because that would have been the right thing to do. A second learning, which I wish somebody would have told me through this entire journey, is truly around plan hard, which all of you will, but also be open to serendipity. The one thing which I have learned is that you have to keep yourself open to things which you don't even anticipate. A prime example of that for me was when I was in probably your shoes or a couple of years down the line, I was very clear. I am actually going to become an engineer who's going to pursue doctorates and make sure I'm able to truly do path-breaking fundamental research. And that was coming out of just pure knowledge and instinct, which I had from what I knew at that point of time, what my strengths and what got me excited. Over a period of time, over the next few years, as I began to interact with some of the business leaders, as I began to interact on some of the social problems, I began to challenge myself and say, are there areas where I could be having even more impact? And it was serendipity, a dialogue, a meeting with one of my mentors who was a very, very well-established business leader who once told me and said, Prab, what is it that you want people to talk to you about as your impact when you are 60 or 65 and probably retiring from professional life? And that got me thinking. And the dialogue led me to a 3 month journey of discovery. And at the end of that discovery, to utter shock of my parents at that point of time, I decided to truly pursue something very different. And I decided I'm going to pursue my interest in the world of business and find a convergence between how business and society interact and what we can do together to have impact. Doesn't mean one of those fields is better or more attractive than the other, but just staying open and just staying open to the serendipity truly helped me on hindsight. And I wish you all take that lesson with you as you make your choices in your life ahead. A third reflection for me, and that's I wish somebody would have told me much earlier, particularly in the formative years, is about becoming a net giver back to the society. I think that's something which has stood with me. Many of you would be encouraged to say, look, absorb as much as you can. Absorb from your teachers, absorb from the world around you, which is fantastic. But it's also important that you begin to think of ways in which you can start giving back. None of us can become net absorbers. I think particularly the 0.01% privileged few, which I would argue many of you represent in this call. We have a real chance to be able to make a difference in the lives of people just because we have had access to resources, access to phenomenal institutions like Delhi Public School, or in my case, a couple of other institutions like IITs and IIMs. And it would be a complete miss on our part if we are not able to give back. But again, that doesn't mean you start giving back to society in the way somebody else does. You have to figure out what giving back for you means. For me, for example, giving back actually means being able to do a phenomenal job and make sure that the work which I do, which is the Uber business platform which we run, does well. Because just by the onus of scaling that platform, we are creating livelihoods for multiple people to join and be able to earn a livelihood of respect. I'm actually in complete transparency. I am not part of any NGO. I'm not a part of great institutions. I think they're doing great work. But given where I am and given my commitments between professional life and personal life, I'm choosing to give back to the society in a very, very different way. But giving back has to be a big part of what each of you start thinking. And you can start small. Like I was amazed to see some of the reflections at the beginning of the call where there were students being recognized. And if you look at the motto of the school itself, service before self, it couldn't capture the core thought much better. And I'm glad you all are getting exposed to that so early. The fourth reflection for me is truly around, I wish somebody would have told me much earlier, it is okay to fail. It is okay to feel inadequate. It is okay to recognize that you are not as good as what you thought you were. But what is not okay is to quit. And this is something which is super important, particularly for this group of high performers. When I was at Delhi Public School, RK Puram, and I graduated class of 2000, always a great institution. I felt I was, and I joined the institution from another school a few years before graduating. And when I came to DPS, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so humbling. And where I'm coming from a world where I used to be the number one in class, number one in sports activities, and here I am, and people are so much better. I think this is the pinnacle. If I can succeed here, I would have probably become the best I could. And I was in for a surprise. I ended up going to an engineering college where within the first few days, I realized how wrong I was. There are people who were phenomenally smarter, phenomenally more accomplished, and phenomenally more well-rounded in their personalities, in their thought processes than I ever thought I was at the school. And I thought, look, this is the peak. And that changed when I ended up going to business school. Or the same thing happened when I ended up with my first job. And then you begin to realize that the axis keeps changing on what you thought was smart. So what you thought was your bar on accomplishment is very different as you go through different professional life. Just because somebody is not from a DPS or is not from a IIT does not mean that they are less accomplished or less smarter. And I think that thought, I wish I had known sooner. I believe I would have been a lot more humble. I would have been a lot more open to diverse opinions. I would have been a lot more grounded. And I encourage all of you to be take that journey starting now. And the last thought I will leave with you, and before we move to the awards, is something which is a phrase which has stood with me. And that goes for all high performers. And this is particularly directed at the high performers in the group today. You all are going to do great things. You're going to achieve a lot. But one learning I will leave with you is do not be a jerk. I repeat, do not be a jerk. It's a very colloquial way of saying something what I would argue is very deep. I think we have all had a privilege of access to resources, privilege of access to great faculty and teachers like they're from the school. And it also means that we don't let any of this get to our head. Many of you are getting an award today. Absolutely proud of what you all have achieved. But let's not let that get to your head. There will be times where you will have even bigger wins. There will be times when you won't. But how you operate and how you conduct yourself with peers around you, with people who are probably not like you, who are very different from you, is truly a judge of how good a human you are. And that's something which I would encourage you to take as hopefully a valuable insight from someone who has gone through this journey over the last 25 years, who has gone through multiple mistakes, and would love to undo those if I could, but I'm glad I'm able to at least share it with this phenomenal group. Thank you for having me, and huge congratulations to all of you, to the students, the parents, and the teachers particularly for just the achievements which this group is achieving, and look forward to continue to engage with you in multiple other forums.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, sir, for your priceless words. The roots of true achievement lie in the will to become the best you can become. Being told you're appreciated is one of the simplest and yet most uplifting things you can hear. Scholar Badge is more than a symbol of appreciation and recognition. It's a journey of hard work and excellence. We now request Ms. Reema Khosla, the class representative of Class 8th, to conduct the award ceremony.
Good evening, everybody. A winner is a dreamer who never gives up. For it is in our dreams that we sow the seeds for our future. Believe in yourself. Do not quit. Keep striving. Be a better you today than you were yesterday. On this note, we begin with the announcement of awards with the meritorious students who are receiving the Blue Blazers. A Blue Blazer is awarded for academic excellence for 3 consecutive years. We begin with the first achiever, Anand Dev. He's a sincere child, good with origami and paper craft, and likes to play football. Anupam Ujjwal. He likes to play football and is interested in digital art. Arisha Khosla. She's a passionate dancer and likes painting. She also likes caring for stray animals. Edha Balaji is an animal lover by nature. She has a keen interest in playing tennis. Ishita Bhalla. She likes to read books, is interested in astronomy, and aims to join the ISRO when she grows up. Kanak Ahuja is a friendly, hard-working and a cheerful student. Prachi Bundela is a hard-working and dedicated student who is interested in art. Prarthana Ranjan is responsible, hard-working and a sincere student. She likes to read, sing and paint. S. Shri Kirti is a diligent, cheerful, obedient student who is passionate about mathematics. Sanskriti Sharma is a hard-working student, a go-getter and doesn't believe in giving up. Shrishti Pathak is a sincere, helpful student. She is also very creative and resourceful. Supraja is an animal lover who likes to read, draw and play badminton. Tia Datta is an artist. She likes dancing, playing the guitar and also likes to play badminton. Abhik Sinha is a well-mannered, responsible student who loves to paint and play basketball. Anamika is a sincere, friendly student who is artistic and likes to dance and read books. Ananta Rai is an extremely responsible and self-motivated student. She's member student council. She's also receiving a gold medal for 100% attendance. Anchika Sadhu is a sports enthusiast and likes to travel. She's also getting a pin and certificate for securing the first runners-up at the DPS basketball tournament organized by the Delhi Public School Society. Aryan Mittal is a confident student who likes playing cricket and traveling. Jagriti Sharma is a diligent, soft-spoken student. She likes reading books and playing the piano. Navya Singh is a quiet, friendly student who likes traveling, listening to music and reading books. Rakhi Mehti is a creative, talented student who likes singing, classical dance and also plays the sitar. She is also receiving a gold medal for 100% attendance. Sania Bajaj is a responsible, hard-working student who likes reading, painting and listening to music. Shivani Rajak is a quiet, sincere student who likes painting and reading books and is fond of dance also. Shri Ranjan Srivastava is a sincere, responsible student who likes swimming and football. Suparna Vadva is a friendly, polite student who likes coding, reading, listening to music, and also plays the guitar. She's also receiving a pin and certificate for securing the first runners-up at the DPS basketball tournament organized by the Delhi Public School Society. Yash Elawat is a well-mannered student who likes to dance and play basketball. Ahana Mehrotra. Ahana is an exemplary orator. She likes computer programming and playing basketball. She's also receiving a pin and certificate for being the school topper in CAMP, that is the National Assessment for Scientific Temperament and Aptitude. Arya Bhandari likes to read books and enjoy cycling. She aspires to be a doctor and help them make the world a better place to live in. Advait Baba, he's a sports enthusiast, fond of football and cricket, and enjoys cooking as well. Arjun Singh Bal, he likes to read books and aspires to become a footballer. Ayan Chopra is good at public speaking, has a curious mind, and is fond of physics and mathematics. David Singh is a well-behaved student who's a keen learner and a confident speaker. He's also receiving a pin and certificate for winning an inter-school Sanskrit elocution event. Dev Tanwar likes to play cricket and badminton. He's fond of science and mathematics. Ekam Singh likes to play cricket and aspires to make it big in the field of sports. Laksh T.M. Jaswani, he plays squash and chess. He wants to be a successful YouTuber. Lavanya Gupta aspires to be a professional golfer. She has bagged the most promising golfer award at the Van Horn Cup in Scotland. She is receiving a red blazer and certificate for securing 3 wins in golf championships. She is also member student council. Manas Sood plays golf. He is fond of the piano and his interests also lie in cooking and mythology. Raina Manchanda is a well-behaved student and a keen learner. She is receiving a pin and certificate for being the second runners-up in the IPSC Badminton Championship also. Reed Bhagat, she likes to draw and sketch. She's a good ballet dancer and aspires to become an advocate. Saksham Raheja is fond of computer programming and web development. Sharanya Sharma is a well-behaved student, a sports enthusiast. She's receiving a pin and certificate for bagging the 3rd position in the CBSE badminton tournament. Shaurya Gautam likes to read books and play squash. He has a keen interest in computers and coding. Shrish Pujari likes quizzes and painting. He aspires to become an archaeologist. Tanish Trikha has a keen interest in coding. He plays the guitar, likes to sing, and is fond of Western dance. He aspires to pursue engineering. Tanveer Singh Talwar, he likes cycling and swimming, is fond of computers, and aspires to become a pilot. Yati Sinha likes to read books and play tennis. She wants to become an IAS officer and contribute to the development of society. Yukti Malhotra is a good listener and a sports person par excellence. She is also receiving a red blazer and certificate for 3 successive wins in table tennis. A.B. Nehra is a voracious reader and an exemplary orator. He is also member student council. Arnav Chaudhary is a responsible student, a keen learner, and likes to read a lot. Ayanika Kakkar is inclined academically and likes to read and gain knowledge. Dev Bajaj is well-behaved, obedient, and is willing to take up responsibilities. Dhriti Kaushal is a soft-spoken student who has the ability to lead and is very responsible. Isha Kekar is a well-mannered student with great enthusiasm and zeal. Jyotir Sinha is an industrious student, a keen observer and full of curiosity. Manvi Singh is a polite, disciplined student who is fond of reading. Myra Agarwal is a creative girl with an aesthetic bent of mind. Mohammad Hanif Rahman is an obedient student, cooperative and good with technology. Naina Lal Mehta is a responsible, courteous student. She is member student council too. Nipun Kumar is a diligent, responsible student. He is also member student council. Preksha Agarwal is a creative, confident orator. She is also member student council. She is also receiving a pin and certificate for being the 2nd runners-up at the DPS National Shooting Championship. Shubham Arora is a well-mannered, disciplined student and a keen observer. Vasu Garg is a voracious reader and a confident speaker. Vidhi Mehta is a soft-spoken, responsible student who is fond of reading. Ashna Bhartiya is an artist and a trained ballet dancer. Ahan Madan, he likes acting and is fond of cricket. Arman Singh is a football enthusiast and very proactive. Arnav Rai Gupta, he's a hard-working student and likes to play football. Dhairya Agarwal, he likes to play cricket and chess. maths is his favorite subject. Dishita Puri is a very focused student and creative in her work. Harshita likes painting and playing tennis. Hunar Khanna is polite, sincere, and wants to pursue fashion designing. Kabir Batra is a polite, well-disciplined student, a good learner, and grasps things well. Naisa Punhani is vivacious and creative. She likes poetry and is a trained Western vocalist. She's also getting a tie-in certificate for being the winner at the annual Inter-School Spanish Language Festival organized by the Delhi Public School Society. Pranchu Sabharwal likes to play the guitar and enjoys football. Raghav Sethi is gregarious with a penchant for innovation. Ryan Alijan, he likes to take up challenges and enjoys hard work. Rishita Mangal, she likes reading books and writing poetry. Rupansh Bejal, he's good at robotics and likes reading novels. Samriddhi Bahadur, she likes to read a newspaper and storybooks and has a good general knowledge. Sana Kalra is an intelligent student, enjoys reading and playing the guitar. Sanvi Sehgal is diligent, enjoys reading, dancing and playing squash. Shaurya Dubey, he wants to become a computer engineer, and more than that, he wants to be a good human being. Siona Arora is an avid reader and is interested in music and literature. Tanmay Vidhani is an aviation enthusiast and a football fan. Vansh Goyal is good at basketball and takes a keen interest in science, maths, art and craft. Vanya Mittal, she too is a good basketball player and a keen learner. Vrinda Goyal, she takes a keen interest in football, astronomy and likes to write short stories. Abhas Arora is a keen learner and is passionate about football. He has excelled in coding at the White Hat Junior. Ahan Gupta is a sincere, dedicated student and quite observant too. Anay Seth is hardworking, obedient and a good swimmer. Arhan Wadhwa, he aims to be an achiever in life, enjoys sketching and playing chess. Arnav Gupta, he enjoys acting and dancing. He also participates in debates. Ariman Roop Madan is hardworking, fond of football and aims to do well in life. Avni Gupta, she wants to be a chartered accountant, enjoys painting and traveling. Ishan Gupta is very enthusiastic, creative and hardworking. Javya Chadha is well-mannered and obedient. She also enjoys listening to music and writing poetry. Kangna Goel is passionate about her studies and art. She also enjoys music and dance. Lakshita Popli is learning ballet and contemporary dance forms. She also writes poetry and stories. Madhav Behel, he enjoys mountain climbing, plays squash and cricket. He is also an accomplished chess player. He is receiving the Red Blazer and certificate for securing 3 wins in National Chess Championships. Naisha Kejriwal, Naisha is responsible and artistically inclined. She is fond of singing too. Nitya Mulchandani, she is hardworking and dedicated, wants to become a doctor in future. She also enjoys dancing. Ranbir Manchanda is hardworking and obedient. He is respectful towards his teachers and peers. Rishit Pruthi aims to be a cricketer and plays football. He also enjoys dancing. Ruhi Tandon, she is hardworking and dedicated. She also plays the piano. Sanvi Khanna aims to excel in science and also enjoys sketching. Sanvi Taneja wants to be successful in life. She enjoys reading and music. Shaurya Datta is helpful and dedicated. He enjoys reading and writing articles. He's also getting a gold medal for 100% attendance. Shreyansh Gupta is hardworking and wants to be an author. He also plays table tennis. Siya Kumar is ethical, empathetic and earnest. She wants to help the needy. Smera Agarwal is fond of literature, poetry and also writes songs. Tisya Jain wants to be a singer, is learning Kathak and also enjoys painting and reading. Vivan Mishra enjoys reading and is good at debating and public speaking too. Zara Khan is enthusiastic, obedient and hardworking. She aims to become a pilot. Arjav Jain is intelligent, disciplined and a courteous student. Adhyan Singhal is an obedient, calm and a hard-working student. Advika Harisuk, she is a pleasant, honest and a disciplined student. Adya Gupta is friendly, affectionate and observant. Arshia Virmani is a creative girl with a good aesthetic sense and a keen interest in learning. Ayana Goel is a polite, friendly and an honest student. Divya Kapoor is sincere, responsible and quite inquisitive too. Harshit Joshi has leadership qualities, is responsible and a keen observer. Kartavya Panda is honest, calm and a hard-working student. Manan Agarwal is well-mannered, responsible and sincere. He's very articulate in his expression. Parth Sarthi Goyal is a friendly student and respectful towards his peers. Ronak Tewatia is a hardworking and modest student. He's an excellent sports person. He's also getting a tying certificate for winning the first position at the IPSC Under-14 Boys Cricket Tournament. Riya Tuteja is disciplined and responsible. She's very creative too. Shanaya Vadwa is soft-spoken, friendly and sincere. Shiveen Kanodia is full of curiosity, proactive and an intelligent student. Shreya Sood is an affectionate, courteous and a pleasant student. Simran Saxena is calm, sincere and hardworking. I now hand over the podium to my colleague, Ms. Pratibha Sachal, who will be continuing with the ceremony. But before I do that, my heartiest congratulations to all the students and the parents who have received the award. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you, Reema ma'am. Our next achiever is Adya Bhardwaj. Adya is well-mannered and an enthusiastic learner. Angad Singh Miglani is well-read and a good debater. Anshul Sareen is very zealous, responsible and obedient. Avishi Gupta is a creative student with a keen interest in increasing her awareness. Ayan Jamal is a well-behaved student who takes up responsibilities willingly. He is also getting a tie and a certificate for securing the first position at the IPSC tennis tournament. Gorika Gend is a creative and has a pleasant disposition. She's also getting a pin and a certificate for being the first runner-up at the DPS basketball tournament organized by the Delhi Public School Society. Kanav Jain is a quick learner, friendly and helpful by nature. Nerusu Praneeth Sriram has a scientific bent of mind, is courteous and a responsible student. Pia Nayak is enthusiastic and eager to gain knowledge. Pranavi Parihar is an excellent orator and a keen learner. She is also getting a pin and a certificate for being the first runner-up at the DPS basketball tournament organized by the Delhi Public School Society. Rudraksh Dalal is well-mannered and a good listener. He is also a very obedient student. Samik Tuteja is a polite, courteous and helpful learner. Sehaj Preet Kaur is a creative student with a good aesthetic sense. Shivan Roy Chaudhary is disciplined and willing to take up responsibilities. Sitamsh Narsimhan is an excellent orator. He is confident and displays leadership qualities. Venika Ajit is fond of singing and likes to dance as well. Ahan Gupta is a well-behaved and inquisitive student. Arunima Sharma is a confident and exemplary orator. Garima Agarwal, she's a well-behaved and responsible child who displays exemplary leadership qualities. Rishikesh Agarwal is a courteous student and a keen learner. Ifra Ashna Shahid is an enthusiastic and an inquisitive learner. Ira Bhattacharya is confident, talented, and very good at public speaking. Janya Bava is a sincere and well-behaved student. Kanav Malani is full of curiosity and a keen learner. Manat Bhardwaj is well-mannered, polite, and takes keen interest in academics. Mohammad Muhib Khan is a hard-working student who aims to do well in life. Navya Dutt is a keen observer and a good orator. Navya Vadva is a disciplined and courteous student. She would like to pursue endocrinology in future. Pratiti Mehndiratta is an inquisitive and meticulous student. Shevi Singh is disciplined and likes to further her knowledge. She is a good orator as well. Surya Sane is well-mannered and a confident speaker. Anya Blagna is polite, courteous, and chooses her words with care. She loves to play the guitar. Ashna Virmani shows initiative and seeks new challenges. Aditya Rakheja is a well-behaved student, a good listener, and an observer. Akrita Kaur has found her voice in poetry recitation and writes with depth and insight. Ameya Aneja is a brilliant writer and has a well-developed vocabulary. She is member student council and is also receiving a tie and a certificate for winning the first position at All India IPSC table tennis tournament. Anahita Chandok is a polite, courteous student who's helpful by nature. Avni Kaur cooperates consistently with the teacher and other students. She's quite regular and takes responsibility for her learning. Ayana Keswani is sincere, a good listener and a courteous student. Isha Devgan sets an example of excellence in behavior and cooperation and shows respect for her teachers and peers. Ishan Ved is an enthusiastic learner who wishes to do well in life. Garv Jain is a well-behaved student, a confident speaker. He is also member student council. Harjit Singh Anand is an enthusiastic learner. He is friendly and helpful. He expresses his ideas clearly. Lavanya Nigam reads extensively for enjoyment and possesses an aesthetic sense. Mehika Kapoor is calm, sincere, and faces challenges with patience and ability. Riya Sane tackles classroom assignments, tasks, and group work in an organized manner. Rayan Kumar is a well-behaved student with penchant for learning. Samaira Verma is obedient and respectful. She is agreeable and polite when working with others. Sarthak Malhotra is meticulous and offers constructive suggestions to the group he is working with. Saurav Singh seeks additional information independently about topics that pique his interest. Shiva Bail is a well-mannered, obedient and polite student. Shreya Mohan is not only an excellent orator but excels at classical music. Soham Sehgal is sincere, disciplined and of helpful nature. Vaishant Gehlot is a thoughtful student who works hard to achieve his goals. Varunavi Gupta is an excellent orator with positive outlook. She is also receiving a certificate of appreciation for securing the first position at Inter-School Fest organized by DPS Dwarka. Yajat Gupta is an active student who enhances group discussions through insightful comments. Anya Yaduvanshi is a diligent worker, artistically inclined, and is a graceful dancer. Avni Gupta is a sincere and keen learner with interest in oration, dance, and golf. Chirag Malhotra is an expressive student with interest in fitness and robotics. Devraj Singh is an enthusiastic learner with excellent oratory skills who likes to make comic strips. Diptanshu Charodia is respectful and well-spoken and has keen interest in technology and software. Diya Dhillon is a responsible and sincere learner who is a sports enthusiast. She is also receiving a red blazer and certificate for achieving 3 wins in a year at the national level in squash. Gaurish Raheja is an industrious and enthusiastic learner with keen interest in table tennis and football. Jasraj Singh is a responsible student, a curious and active learner. Mahik Sharma is a sincere, expressive and enthusiastic learner who enjoys listening to music. Nandini Vaish is an organized and well-behaved student with interest in ballet and English literature. Prachit Jain is well-behaved and an expressive learner with a good sense of humor. Priya Gupta is sincere and well-behaved and enjoys craft-based activities. Rajveer Anand is respectful with an interest in science and mathematics. Rayansh Chadha is a diligent and obedient student. He likes reading spy books and is a cricket enthusiast. Riddhi Kakkad is an enthusiastic learner with interest in art and music. Rihit Vadva is a hard-working student with keen interest in science and technology. He is member student council and is also receiving a pin and a certificate for securing the first position at an inter-school drone championship competition. Rishabh Sharma is a responsible and sincere learner and a sports enthusiast. He is also receiving a pin and a certificate for winning the 100-meter and 200-meter race at the zonal athletic meet. Sai Gambhir is a keen observer and a good learner with passion for playing piano and basketball. Shanaya Nanda is a diligent and sincere student with keen interest in painting and art. Shauryaveer Singh is a creative and diligent student, a certified game developer. He also enjoys dancing and writing poetry. He is also member student council. Shobini Khanna is a diligent and industrious learner with a keen interest in painting. Siddhi Kakkad is an enthusiastic learner with excellent oratory skills and has a flair for acting and debating. Twesha Sehgal is a courteous student and a graceful dancer. She is quite athletic and loves to study social sciences. Vaishnavi Sairam is a sincere learner with keen interest in art. She is a trained Bharatanatyam dancer and also dabbles in poetry. We move on to the second Green Badge achievers. The second Green Badge is given for 2 consecutive years of academic excellence. We have Vinayak, who likes to study science and mathematics and loves playing cricket. He is also receiving a tie and a certificate for securing the first position at the IPSC Under-14 Boys Cricket Tournament. Ishita Sharma is a friendly, hard-working student. She is artistic and loves drawing. Pranav Agarwal is a hard-working and honest student who loves coding and playing cricket. Shagun is a well-mannered, hard-working and diligent student. Maisha Khurana is a voracious reader and has good oratory skills. Anshul Singh Gehlot is a disciplined student who is very helpful and obedient by nature. Lakshay Upadhyay is a sincere and dedicated student. Sahib Noor Kaur is an excellent orator, hardworking and responsible as well. Syed Ali Hussain Rizvi is a modest, sincere and an excellent student. Arush Agarwal is a well-mannered student and an enthusiastic learner. Aditya Singh is courteous, helpful and obedient by nature. Dhanvin Reddy is a polite, sincere student who is very hardworking. Gaurpriya is an industrious and sincere student. Hardik Goyal is a keen learner who perseveres to achieve his goals. Lavit Bansal is a well-behaved student and a keen observer. Mihika Makhija is a creative student with a keen interest in learning. Aditya Gupta is an enthusiastic learner and is quite proactive. Namya Kohli is an exemplary orator and a keen learner. She is also receiving a tie and a certificate for being a winner at the DPS National Squash Championship organized by the Delhi Public School Society. Stanzing Funzog is very punctual, well-behaved and a sincere student. Umang Malik is an artistically inclined student. Sanat Gupta is well-mannered, sincere and hard-working. Sanav Arora is a diligent and responsible learner. Abhinav Dikshit is respectful and persistent in his efforts. We proceed to the first Green Badge achievers. The first Green Badge is awarded for academic excellence for this session. We have Aditi Singh, who's a hardworking student who enjoys reading. Chaitanya Jangra is respectful, fond of art and likes to play cricket. Gauri is an avid reader and writer who's passionate about all things creative. Tanushri is a hardworking and dedicated student who likes art and craft. Hiba Fatima is a sincere, quiet student who loves reading books and painting. Angad Gill is a well-behaved student and a keen learner. Samriddhi is a determined girl who aims to deliver her best always. Amit Vinay Kumar is hardworking and a sincere student. Atriya Lavanya is an exemplary orator and a keen learner. Rutba Hilal Redha is of mild disposition and a voracious reader. Mitisha Mittal is a well-behaved, sincere and hard-working student. Rudransh Katuria is a sincere, diligent student who's also a keen observer. Gurmanya Singh Oberoi is an honest, sincere and a well-behaved student. We now have students who have achieved commendable success in co-curricular areas. We begin with Mona, who is a well-mannered, hard-working student. She is receiving a gold medal for 100% attendance. Pranjal Singh is an interactive, alert student. He is receiving a tie and a certificate for winning a gold medal at the Open National Taekwondo Championship. Geet Chahal is a disciplined, hard-working student. A sportsperson at heart, she is receiving a pin and a certificate for being the first runner-up at DPS basketball tournament organized by the Delhi Public School Society. Lakshay Bhadwar is a well-mannered, humble student. He is receiving a pin and a certificate for winning the third position at All India IPSC Swimming Championship. Mohammad Zaid Iqbal is a hardworking, proactive student. He is receiving a gold medal for 100% attendance. Ohik Guha is a hardworking and disciplined student. He is receiving a tie and a certificate for winning the first position at the Inter-DPS Indian Classical Orchestra Festival organized by the Delhi Public School Society. Sharnagat Kaur Sodhi is a disciplined, soft-spoken student. She is receiving a tie and a certificate for securing the first position at the Inter-DPS Indian Classical Orchestra Festival organized by the Delhi Public School Society. My heartiest congratulations to all the recipients and the parents. Thank you very much.
Thank you to our class representatives. Nelson Mandela said, "A good head and a good heart are always a formidable combination." This combination is seen in none other than our dear headmistress Niva Chonka, who will now deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening. A winner is a dreamer who never gives up. A beautiful quote. We all possess that courage, willpower, and strength to overcome any obstacle. The magic lies within us. It is a great pleasure to share with you this delightful evening and a momentous occasion to celebrate the academic achievements of our students. Heartiest congratulations to all the awardees and their parents. My heartfelt gratitude to our Honorable Chief Guest for the insightful and thought-provoking address. Sir, your eminent presence has made this event a memorable one. My sincerest gratitude to our respected guest of honor for this enlightening address and sharing the experiences. I express my deep gratitude to the principal for our guidance and encouragement. Past months were unsettling and difficult for the staff, students, and the parents. A big thank you to all the parents for being encouraging, sharing timely feedback, and providing a conducive and comfortable learning atmosphere at home. Thank you, teaching and support staff, for providing rich and engaging, well-rounded experiences and fostering curiosity among the students. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the program coordinators, Ms. Beenu Chanan and Ms. Kaveri Dhar. The comparing script was prepared by Ms. Sonam Quatra. The coordinators for awards and announcement, Ms. Reema Khosla and Ms. Pratibha Sachar. The invitation cards were designed by Ms. Sangeeta Rana. The technical support was provided by Mr. Mukesh Kumar and Mr. C.A. Thomas. The compilation of video was done by Ms. Sarika Kaushal. The cultural program was prepared by Mr. Daniel and Mr. Sothingham. Photography and videography was by Mr. Dini Matthew, Mr. Joseph and Mr. Shankar Guri. So thank you all for your valuable presence this evening and stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. This concludes today's ceremony. We now request everyone to rise for the national anthem.